Thank you for opening. We enjoy it. Yeah. And you know, Brad, yeah. We don't get to see it much.
And then
Allie started the store. It was a fear. Yeah, how you got there? Just from being in Haven? He's pretty good then.
Yeah, I think his wife kind of helped him pick out some of the
She's the great
Yeah.
Now, waiting on Tommy to, I thought I was gonna take that unit out myself. Yeah, that's a job. So I was like, yeah, you guys better. Yeah, I said, y'all better come take this out. So I gotta drive some screws into this and boards I put back. But I'm just ready to move upstairs. After I finish that wall, I think I'm gonna insulate it. I'm finished. So after I tear that wall out and start it. I really can't do much upstairs other than electrical. I can't put things back because it gets air.
Hey. Right here.
But he's thinking about it. So I'll have you an answer.
Okay, thank you. Hey, how are you?
All right, thank you guys for coming here tonight. We're going to open the meeting with prayer and a pledge like always. And if you'll pray with me. Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight. We ask that you watch over us. We ask that you watch over our city and all of our city workers. We ask that everything that we talk about here tonight glorifies your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank y'all for coming here tonight. I'd like to make an introduction to Jesse Owens. Jesse's going to be facilitating this for us and moving us along in the process. Jesse, I'll let you have the floor.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessie. I'm with Civic Enhancement Strategies. And what we do is we help other communities develop strategic plans based on what their community wants them to do for the next couple or few years. So, what we're going to do right now is just host a little Q&A. These guys are who you want to talk to. They're the ones you want to ask questions to, voice concerns, give praises. We love those. If you want to give compliments, we always accept compliments. And then when we're done with that, we're going to take a few minutes, about 30 minutes, to do that. And let them just kind of tell you what we're doing here, why we're doing it, and why we need your help to do so. Then when we're done with that, we're going to go into these stations. The stations, this is our land use map. I'll show you. What we're going to do here is take those stickers right there on the side of each board, and you're going to place a sticker on this board in an area that you do not want to see change. So if there's an area in which you do not want to see developed in any way, put a sticker on it. This is going to be the opposite. You're going to put a sticker right there. Any area in which you do want to see change. So if there's a property that's zoned in a way that you don't think it should be, please tell us that by putting a sticker there. Then you're going to move on to each station here. We are going to give you the opportunity to put on each station what you think correlates to that. So we have a station for strengths, and you're going to have the opportunity to write down what you think the strengths of the city are. We have a station for weaknesses, and you'll do the same thing. And then we have a station for opportunities and threats. Opportunities is where you're going to put on there things that you think that we are not taking advantage of, or things that you think we should be taking advantage of that we maybe haven't thought of yet. And then threats is going to be things that are not maybe a weakness yet, but could be things that we need to be on the lookout for. We need to make sure that we're mindful of in the future. And then when that's done, you all can leave, but we are going to take all of this information, everything that you talk about in the Q&A session, and everything that you put on these different stations. We're going to take that data, and we're going to have a strategic planning meeting. We're going to use the data that you give us, and that will be what helps us to develop our strategic plan for the next few years. Okay? Anyone have any questions about that? Okay, so question and answer starts now. Go. Y'all have the opportunity to ask any of these people any questions or concerns or suggestions or things that you really want to voice, make sure that your voice is heard right now. When we go to stations, you'll have the opportunity to talk to them individually, but if you want to address them as a group, that would be the time right now. Okay? Otherwise, they are going to tell you what they have planned coming up over the next year.
Sir, I think to interrupt you. Can we get you the microphone?
Oh, sure.
And if anybody can do that, because it is on Facebook right now, so that way you can make sure folks.
Hello.
It's just recording.
No, it's not recording.
Okay.
We're live.
That's okay, right?
Right, it is?
Oh,
Okay.
anyway, I just really love the town. It's just really nice and a lot of things to do. The gym, having the gym to play basketball in is great. And Doggy Park, we enjoy that. And the university across the road, I mean, the Piedmont, yeah, it's a university now, isn't it? We enjoy going over there and walking in their part. And the bathroom is really nice. Y'all built down there. And the police chief is a great guy. Met him and the garbage people, and real nice people. And that's it. I just want to say that we love it, and we have some things to add to the maps. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Started off good. Thank you for that. Who else has questions? All right.
Hello, I'm Joe Berg. I live a couple houses down the road at 419 Hazel. I am a retired person who moved to Demorest almost, not quite 20 years ago, to retire to, and I love it up here, generally speaking. I don't have any major complaints at all. Other than recently, I know we had a moratorium on building in Demorest, which I appreciate because it did keep, well, it didn't keep the Dollar General out, but it's there, unfortunately. But
That's not in the city limits, just.
well, it was a deep secret until it just popped up, and I knew exactly what it was the minute I saw the building. But that's the kind of stuff I would like the city to get more involved in, as far as what you can do to keep it, not only that kind of stuff within this city of Demorest or as close as you can. But the other thing that's going on now that the moratorium has been lifted, I'm not anti-new housing or new businesses or anything else, but we need to get more information ahead of time about what's going on. Like, I live on 419 Hazel that faces this way. This morning, there's two guys out there in survey coats staking out what looked to be lots in the back lot behind me. And I assume those are going to be houses eventually. But again, we don't know about it until we actually see it out there. And I don't know what they're going to be, if they're going to be like the houses that they built on, I call it the gulch behind Sweetbreads, all those houses that built up along there and up on the hill, and what I assume is maybe a floodplain, I don't know. But we need a little bit more information, I think, as citizens about what's going on in downtown Demorest especially. I'm one of the few people that actually reads newspapers, a real newspaper. But again, that's usually too late. It's already been done by that time. So if there's any way you can get involved a little bit more before it's already taking place. I have a neighbor it looks like she's going to lose half of what she thought was her back lot there. Whether she got a survey when she bought the house, I don't know, but she should have. I certainly did 20 years ago. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Generally speaking, I'm very happy to be here, and I want you to continue taking good care of us because I appreciate that. So
Miss Joe, if I can, I got back in the office today about 4.
I left you a message.
If I did not call you.
I figured that.
Back through of Holly.
Yeah.
I look down Pine Street and I can see those survey stakes, but we don't necessarily know.
Really?
If it's within the zoning. They will just come when they're ready to apply for a permit. But they're doing their due diligence in the meantime by doing surveys and other.
But you still don't know who's doing the survey or why they're doing it?
I mean,
At this point.
It's under contract. I can pull up just like you could pull up you public to see who owns it, and we wouldn't know who's buying it or was it for sale or anything like that until they come in to make application for our building permit.
And at that point, do you have the right to say yes or no or decline it or?
If they're building within the code's right over here on these maps, there's nothing for us to do.
They could put a 3-story apartment building there like they put on 441 or?
See, that's multifamily. So we tell you what that property is zoned today, but they also be making an application to apply to change the zoning. But we have the zoning in there for our residential 1, residential 2, and then we've got it for multifamily. We've got it listed in there in the different charts. It says it can be this, or this. Here's the maximum height. Here's your setbacks. As long as they're all within those and staying within the zoning approvals, there's nothing for us to do. We do not approve their house plans unless they're in the historical district.
And that is not
And we,
historical district then?
well, the problem that we have is we don't have a historical planning board because nobody will apply. Because you have to meet certain requirements to be on that board. Architect, certain or historian. So there's a lot of things. So in essence, we've got 45 days to approve that plan. I don't have a board. There's no way for me to approve it. They've got to fill out paperwork and give it to us. But on the 46th day, they're automatically approved. So it's very weak from that end.
Yeah.
Again, if they're building R1 minimum square footage and they're hitting the setbacks, there's nothing for us to do other than to approve them for a building permit. And then our third-party inspector will inspect the house as it is being built. So, like I said, I saw those today because that orange caught my eye.
Well, yeah, my dog was really upset by all those orange vests this morning. She alerted me to the fact they were there, but.
And then again, when we get an application for a rezoning or annexation, we've got to advertise that once I get a full package. If they could just kind of start sending me stuff in, there's not enough for me to tell until I get a full package of what it is they're trying to do.
Is that what occurred then on the building behind North Hazel? Those were approved a long time ago?
You come back from a rezoning, I don't think we've had a rezoning in 10 plus
I always
years.
thought it was like a floodplain that they probably couldn't or shouldn't build down there,
But
but,
they would have gotten a survey, and they would have dealt with the state on their soil erosion plan, because the state has to issue them a soil erosion plan. The city of Demorest does not. Just like if there is a complaint about mud getting into a creek or something, my code enforcement officer, which is Fire Chief Dave Schurer back there, he has no authority over the soil erosion. He has to call EPD, and they've got an inspector that comes out.
well, it just sounds like we don't have enough control over any of this myself.
Well, but just so you know, when we went through our land use this past year,
Yeah,
we went through all these different charts and went over these kind of things, and that's why they are in place to give you the right to build or do what you want to do within this. So we gave the public has the right of the property owner. Because some people think that the government coming in is treading on you if we say, oh, you gotta
Trust
paint
me,
your house yellow.
heard all
I
that.
want a yellow house.
Yeah.
You know, things of that sort.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying, but we don't always know until they come in to apply. You may hear about it on the street, but it doesn't mean it's factual, as we heard on another piece on Long Street in that.
Well, the only real advance notice you would have is if you could get a historical committee together ahead of time,
As long as they're staying within the zoning codes.
because that's part of the actual appeal of downtown Demorest, obviously, is the nature of the town and the houses and the lack of everything looking the same, but,
Well, that is something that these five gentlemen hear from the public, and
Yeah.
they speak about.
Yeah.
Keeping Demorest the same. It is about the style of the house.
And Jesse, where would they write, like, historical on those boards? Which board would you?
You can put that on opportunities, if you wanna do that, or you could also put it as a threat.
yeah.
If we don't do something about.
What I'm concerned about is we're losing control of,
Exactly, so you could.
Our
you could
area.
use that either way, but please make sure you add that to this.
I will, thank you.
Thank you.
First, gentlemen, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. We know it's not an easy job. I did have a question about just the standards for the look of the city, and I'm thinking the downtown especially, and then around that. Do we have any standards for what houses should look like to be more like some of the historical buildings?
If it's in the historical district, we would have standards.
Okay. Okay.
But we've got standards that we went through under the land use. No mobile homes are allowed anymore in the city.
All right.
We could have put in there no vinyl siding, but we didn't. Because again, if you're gonna keep affordable houses, you can't have everybody have brick, rock, so much percentages of that. So the look of the house, if this person is building houses back there, I was doing it, I wanted to look like the other houses in that area. But so we would have to see of that.
So in the downtown area, is it zoned so that if somebody wanted to build a building that has, where you can have commercial and then apartments on top, and we could specify that we want it to look more like the existing older buildings that are there? Is it zoned for that, or is it zoned just for 1 to 4
At
families?
this point, now, there's two different things when you're saying downtown. I'm thinking our actual downtown.
That's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
You're talking about where Holden is.
And Hazel Street, where that,
The residential side, that would be in the historical district too.
okay, because isn't there some vacant land on Hazel Street that's for sale a lot? Just down, it's up,
There's one that comes around that Jim was gonna build that comes out on Soseby and Hazel right there. That is,
Okay.
but they would fall into the historical standards.
okay,
We don't have a committee to enforce anything.
okay. And I have one more question, and it's about the master plan for the park. Because weren't the restrooms the phase 1, or is the city going to move forward with phase 2 on that master plan?
In a phase 2,
Well, you have to draw in phase 2.
that's right, but nothing has ever been. Now, again, part of what we're trying to recoup our financials after putting in $500,000 in cash So,
And I think going after some of these grants is ideal as far as focusing on that phase two. Because I would love to see that as well.
What was phase two?
It was, yeah, redoing the fountain in the creek, putting the creek all the way through.
like a stage that was backing up to 441 Base Road.
Change priorities.
Yeah, making it more event friendly, but I know that we have other priorities, like Sean said, right
The
now.
other part that we're doing, that wasn't part of any of the phase two is the grant that we have for the, new playground park. That's for all inclusive. I did send y'all an email late this afternoon that there was a two-part grant. One is for the playground equipment, and the other one was through DNR, for the rubber mat flooring. So if you're handicapped, we asked for $169,000. We are glad to say that we were approved for $159,795 today. So I gotta Brad's getting the update on where we're at on the other grant for the equipment and everything like that. So that was excellent news today.
What grant was that?
I'm sorry,
What grant was it?
rubber tire.
It's all service.
So with that being said, Patty, that's what I see as the next part. We also met with, Brad with the Sequoia River Keepers. Again, you know where our ditch has the riprap on that end of the park down there by the horseshoes, and then you have the big going through Piedmont to the, wetlands back there. We're working together with the three of us on cleaning all that up. We have some challenges more on Piedmont side, because Brian can adjust his water lines that are exposed. There's nothing we can do with the steel, iron, sewer pipes that run across there. Because what needs to happen is a plan we're working through is that it needs to be graded back with the slope. They would plant trees and things to control that. All we're gonna do is expose more pipe. So, that's our challenge from that.
Whatever, we don't have a park committee that started the design for the bathrooms anymore. I think that our priorities have kind of changed in what was proposed in those different phases of the park. For example, we're talking about playground equipment for the children. It's always been an area for children to play. I think that's a very important part. But hopefully out of this process that we're doing is that we can get some kind of input into what may be the uses, what you think the direction we should go in that. Does the restoration of the springs need to be placed on a higher priority? What about the ball field that's over here? There's quite a bit of land over there. Already mentioned earlier that, it's been used as a dog park. We've never designated that ball field to be used for anything. So is that something as part of the process that we should need to designate that officially as a dog park? And maybe some of the land beyond that, maybe for trails or something.
And the idea is the existing playground equipment would be moved up here to this park back here. So you would really have two playgrounds. One's gonna be about 20 years old and one would be state of the art. So. Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask one question? It's on the general planning, I think I need to.
We just wanna make sure the recording picks you up.
All righty, you can hear me, I hope. The only other question I had is the parking situation downtown. I'm assuming you all have addressed that issue. I mean, if you really want more development down there, where are people going to park? And I say that only because people are just plain lazy. They don't want to have to walk a half a block down Holly or wherever to get to downtown Demorest. And if you go down there, the coffee shop, thankfully, has brought a lot of people to town. Sweetbreads is still there, the new restaurant, et cetera. But the parking situation is hindering any, and again, what you put down there, approved to be down there is another factor too, but what are your plans for parking down in that entertainment district?
Very good questions, very good points on everything on that. And that's something that when we get to the opportunities and the weaknesses that we can discuss, in regards to that. But I agree with you.
As far as filling in, Mark worked out something with Fremont University to allow anybody to park there in the back parking lot.
I've noticed that in the evening, that's
We've
good.
got 3 parking agreements with that, with
I'm glad to see that. It's,
after Monday through Friday, after 5 o'clock, anybody can use the one behind the coffee shop and the women's club parking on the other side, and then coming down Georgia Street toward the police station, the first parking lot on the right-hand side. And we've let all our business owners know if they wanted to put this as additional parking on their websites for folks, and the 5 or 6 parking spaces that are right there where the VRBO is on the corner. Those that face on Hazel Street belong to the city. So those are public spaces. We don't want to put up a big sign that says
no.
parking. And we did add a sign into the parking lot beside Sweetbreads. That is public parking, not for one restaurant. It is for anybody who can park there.
Right. It'll take time for people to know all that, but long-term, that, if you want more shops down there, there's got to be a plan to where you're going to put them, so. Okay, thank you.
First of all, I'm Cynthia Quinn, and I live on Blue Ridge Avenue. I'm on Blue Ridge, so I have a couple of questions about Blue Ridge. First is, we've had a lot of houses built in that area, I'm sure you're aware, and a lot of super big trucks and damaging the road. I'm sure you're aware of that as well. Is there any, I don't know how you find out when more houses are going to be built, so you can kind of at least be aware of it, traffic-wise, or with animals, with kids, all of that. Is there published about the permits? So
No, it's public record if somebody came in, but I would tell you, one thing that council is not looking to do, and I'm not speaking for them, is bring in like new subdivisions. But infield housing on existing vacant lots or a house that is dilapidated, needs to be torn down, you want to see more and more and more of that in our area like that, just like on Pine Street, from what Ms. Joe was talking about. You're going to see
it's
more.
not published anywhere when their permits go through.
It is public.
It shows up that they start building. Is that correct?
That's yes. Once you see the surveyor statement,
That's
that's really the first stage, and then they'll be coming to see City Hall about the permit. But you can come see what they turned in. But
well, you brought up something else on Blue Ridge. I'm sure you're probably aware of our dilapidated house on Blue Ridge.
We're very aware, and Mr. Sure is aware of it too.
And
You're all the ones that
is there anything that can be done about it?
No, that was been checked.
all right, Dave, come forward, please, sir. Ma'am, state your question back to the fire chief and code enforcement officer, Dave Sure, please. He didn't hear the question.
I didn't hear the question at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I live a house down from the very, very dilapidated house on Blue Ridge Avenue.
What's the address?
I'm 215, so it's,
Are you talking about 379? Or are you talking about
is
Ward?
that it?
No, I think you're talking about 379.
And I think they're talking about 379. That's actually the
That should
issue.
be
We're
the email
discussing.
that I got today. Did y'all send me the email today?
No, I did not, but I have neighbors that are all,
I can hear you.
Mary Bennett.
Okay, well, let me tell you the addresses that they sent me today.
That was the.
I got them right here. I got 261 and 161, and then I've got 379.
So I got this email from somebody complaining about the two he just read off. So he got that email late today. He will check on that tomorrow. I got a voicemail from somebody today that I forwarded to him about all the mud. in the streets.
Oh, yeah, we just walked through it
Yeah, so.
with our dogs.
Later today, and he will look at that.
It's a mess. I can tell you that.
And Brian and I met with that builder, a couple months ago about their truck parking, their
Yeah.
dumpster parking. The builder was driving in so fast on that narrow street, he actually clipped Brian Popham's side mirror as he went by.
I'm not surprised. They do drive fast too. So, and one other thing, since you were talking about the parking, one other concern that my husband and I both have had is about the first 2 parking spaces when you turn onto the, whatever our road
George
is
Street.
there. I'm not good. Right in front of the coffee house.
When you're turning in onto the street and somebody's backing out there, it is a dangerous situation. And if you would have other parking available, is there any way with those?
So you're saying you like us to take away parking?
Just right there, when they're backing out.
No, I hear what you're saying, but also she's asking for more parking and you're asking to take away parking. And I hear what you're saying.
Yes, the post office is the most dangerous place there.
Well, hopefully by 26, they'll be located up here. And Jamie can expand over into the post office there, with more space.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, who else?
Okay, are we done with questions and answers? All right, do y'all have anything else y'all would like to say or address or tell or events coming up or what you're, anything?
We have another one of these meetings, just like this, with Jesse hosting on February the 11th, Megan?
Yes.
At 5:30. So we'll take this information, digest it between now and then, and we'll go through the same process.
And these meetings don't work without you guys, without your neighbors, everybody you can get. So make sure you invite everybody to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you guys, thank y'all for being so involved. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna break out into these stations. You can start at any station, just make sure you hit all of them up. And then our city council and administrators are gonna come down and you can talk to them one-on-one if you didn't feel comfortable asking a question to everybody, or if you just wanna say, hey, that's fine, they will be out here and you can talk to them personally, but otherwise, feel free to get up and go ahead and start making your way around the stations, okay?
Sleeping out. See you next Wednesday.
She gave me instructions.
Oh, yeah.
You are.
Maybe a resident.
You are, man.
You are.
You get coffee from it?
I did.
Is it any good? Or is it terrible? It's kind of strong to me. He said it's 10 o'clock still working. It's 10 o'clock working. He sent me a message earlier confirming our 10 a.m. meeting tomorrow. But Marcus was like, he said, it's 9 o'clock. I said, I'm they're supposed to be 9 o'clock. But it
What 365? You got
No, I haven't got it. Well, I can pay for it.
So it took everything away that we had been paying. That would have opened up 365. So
I paid for it, they gave me a receipt, so I
I'll show you the map of that. I don't know if you like it. But it's the way that's across the street, trying to get some, we don't have sewer on the south side. This is over near, in a mountain area, and, sweet flags out of some grass, subdivision. But I'll show you.
I know you are.
That's the biggest thing, it's just like you see, they've got so much industry, commercial businesses, that is the true growth in there, because our home is producing their sales tax, their property tax, that business is producing inventory tax, for vendors, and all those things.
And it was on
the
each of those.
that investment is building that building, whatever. And that's where we're studying, the only place we have.
You're gonna pay for Jimmy.
Have some around there on 365. And that's where I'm saying that is 365. Because I get in the room.
Good, you snuck in.
Because again,
So when it comes down to it, it's credit card.
Well, she got a grandson.
There's one that's in our yard out there, and this Mark keeps saying he's not doing it, and I'm just like, leave it alone. Yeah, I mean, it's not hurting me. That he voted for you.
Stand up, look at him.
So that's not good down.
Because I try to call him people.
That's what he said, can't
DNR number. You call a DNR agent. Ask me what I do.
I'm over and up there.
So you can hear training up there. You don't
Where
like
he wants to
these.
put back, the house is up, and I'll be the serene.
There's the dog all dressed up, sitting on the couch. Oh, yeah, look at this stuff.
You can't kill those lights. No matter what they're doing to you. You keep doing
Oh, you finally did that?
I didn't know that was you.
I was just like.
All right. Okay. It makes it.
I'm hoping to get her back up here soon. Because he goes on numerous Wednesday. Off for 45 days. He says that they're going to say it's Fort Stewart. Because Fort Stewart is massive. They're going to be on base. They're not allowed to go to the barracks. They're staying in the field out there. But there's a possibility they can take them. Next week. Because today, the news wrote that the Marines are, but the Marines are already on. They've already moved the Marines in. And the Customs and Border Patrol caught smugglers trying to come across. Conflict between our country and Mexico. How big of a public there are cartels.
Mary and Mary. There's.
He can be in Israel, Jordan, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. He can be in any one of those places.
You don't know the Sweetbreads, you too. So you're going down Hazel Street.
Give yourself a little while and you can go.
Houses next to the. Well, yeah, with a commercial.
Yeah, we don't know who's actually, you know, one of the owner's actually deceased, and we just don't know who will actually. This is somebody who's living in this. So I know that Casey had said something about it. We had that problem before 4th of July. They had all the trees piled up there, and I kept them. You put them there. My company put that on there. And he said, no, you have to come and clean it up. So finally said, Thomas said, no, you trespassed on this property. You have to clean it up. So that's why.
I was just thinking about so I understand we don't know who owns it.
There's a name on there.
Because I think obviously to be rotated in a restaurant or something like that. That again could be part of a walking downtown district. So that's what they were.
I saw that. I swear I saw it. You don't see them on George Street. I called him, yeah.
That needs, we need to, where is that house?